We're back. Welcome to the Cavalry, boys and girls.
Welcome to the Cavalry, Johnny Beaner. Look, I'm just going to be straight up with everybody. Johnny had the audacity to call me on the phone.
Yeah.
Was it yesterday? Last night?
That was yesterday. That was last evening.
Last evening, we talked for like 20 minutes. So if we seem like 20 minutes, like if this podcast seems like it's missing about 20 minutes worth of interesting conversation, it's Johnny's fault. We just used it up. We normally are in total silos during the week. We never address each other. We don't even text that much. We just wait for the podcast. But Johnny broke the seal last night. So
I know we burned it off wax. Ugh.
Those long drives will do it. Do you have you have like a list of people you call on those drives? Like,
I'll talk. Well, it's basically my brothers or Jason Russell.
Yeah, it's a short list, right?
It is a short list.
And it's too bad.
Well, now with podcasts and satellite radio, it's not as necessary.
Yeah, you don't need people anymore. You don't need people in your life. Just subscribe. Don't make a friend. Subscribe to a friend.
Yeah. I just listen to the Cavalry over and over on my drives.
You were doing good for you. No wonder our numbers are up.
Yeah, baby.
We're doing a show in Michigan for children. Is that right? That's your new thing?
I was doing a show for children. It was the Touch Me Foundation. No, I was doing a high school graduation party in Livonia, Michigan. And it was, it went, I mean, I've been dreading it for weeks, not dreading it, but I was just like, this is not my audience. Got to cater stuff to this, the mom sent some information about, which by the way was hilarious because I would bring him up and he'd be like, nah, not really. And so, I just got all these laughs. I was just calling them on. I pulled out my phone. I was like, okay, are you a foodie? He's like, no, not really. Do you like sport? Do you like traveling? He's like, I don't know. I was like, what is going on? Why did you waste my energy and time?
Mom doesn't know her own kid at all. She's like, he loves comedians. He's like, I hate this. I don't want it.
I'm in hell.
What joke, what Johnny Beaner classic bit worked the best for the age group of 17 to 18 years old?
Oh boy, I don't know. I probably the biggest laugh was when I was like halfway through and 3 kids walked in and went to the table and they they had to walk back past this big chasm of empty space, the dance floor, and I just said something like, "Oh, hey, where were you guys out smoking or something?" And everyone just thought that was so hilarious, the audacity of these children to be smoking.
See, these TikTok kids, they all want crowd work.
Yeah,
they all want the crowd work.
That's right.
I was literally doing the opposite of your gig. I had a private gig for a 75th birthday. Some rich guy out in Turner, Oregon, and they did it outside. Listen to this. Outside, about 20 people at like a picnic table. This beautiful view. No mic, no lights, no stage. And I just was up there using my hands. You ever have no mic? You ever perform with no? It's weird. You're like,
I don't really like it.
I kind of like it. I've become like a TED Talk guy. I think I do like it. I think I could be one of those guys who's like hands are, I get one of those mics that comes around here and then my hands are everywhere and they're making big gestures, You seem more, I feel like people take you more seriously. Like if you showed up if you showed up at a comedy club and you just had your own mic that was like this, and then I think everyone would
with people that do that. They bring their own thing.
Really?
They have to talk to the sound guy. You've never had, where they're like, they have their weird expensive thing and they're like, oh, you got to plug it into the system.
Yeah. Maybe a juggler. Maybe like Ron Pearson or something. I would do that.
Or a magician.
I feel like you get taken more seriously. People go, whoa. Oh, wait. Okay. He needs both hands to make these points.
That makes me that maybe I should do that. Maybe at the mic at Comedy on State, I'll do that sometime where I'll make a big deal. I'll bring one and I'll make a big deal of it and I'll set it aside and then I'll just stand there with my hands at my side the entire
Just like
time.
super glue your palms to your thighs the whole time.
Yeah.
Uh, that would be very funny. Or I was trying to think of how else. Anyway, if you
How would
had
that be
that
funny
and
for the
still
audience
used,
though? I'd have to like make a big to do of it when I get on stage.
you're like, or you could say like, hey, I have to do a gig where I have no mic, so I'm practicing. So, but then your hand keeps going up like this to hold a mic, and you're like, oh god damn it, and then you have to start over.
Uh, yeah. Well, not to credit drop, but that's what I was worried about. Like for Letterman, you can't, if you're not Seinfeld, you don't get to call the shots. And they're like, no, he doesn't do mics. And so I just had to practice. I had to, figure out the set without a mic or mic stand.
That's so interesting that they wouldn't do that because I feel like now I can't remember if.
I mean, I can picture comedians that have mics on Letterman, but it
Oh
just was
yeah,
not a
yeah. I
choice.
thought they would give you. I think for Corden they gave me the choice,
Hmm.
and I said yes, I'll take a mic. Of course.
Yeah.
And then for Conan, I can't. I honestly can't remember if I had a mic or not. But I feel like they give you the choice now.
Huh.
Well, there's nobody
Yeah.
left doing stand up on TV, um, but I kind of
Does
like
anyone
it.
do it anymore at all besides Jimmy
Oh,
Fallon
Fallon.
doing
I
his
think Fallon
stand-up
does it,
comics?
right? Does Colbert still do it?
Yeah, Fallon is. I don't know. I haven't seen one in ages.
Yeah,
Seth Meyers.
rarely, I
Yeah.
think.
Huh.
It's lost art.
The lost art.
You got to get on the Taylor Tomlinson show. And even then, they don't do stand up. They do like,
Yeah, not doing stand up. You're just a game show contestant.
yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Life is great.
Life is good. You know what? Life is great. So you did that gig with the old 75th birthday last evening?
Saturday night.
Oh, okay.
And I did 4 shows on Saturday. I felt like a real New York comic zipping around town. It was great. Portland
Yeah.
felt really fun. But that one, it went about as good as you could have expected it to. Honestly, it was 15 minutes, which is like such a smart move on her. Honestly, on their part, because you go, hey, I'm paying all this money, shouldn't you get? It's like you don't want. What do you want? You're spending the money anyway. It's a sunk cost. You
Yep.
just want the best experience possible, right? It doesn't matter how long it is,
Yeah.
you know. So for that kind of thing, 15 minutes is like perfect. Their dinner is barely interrupted. I'm in, I'm out. They don't even know, I'm not hanging around. They like invited me, hey, you want some wine? And it's like, nah, I'm out of here.
Oh
Like I
yeah.
was never here. I'm like a ninja. Except the
Same with
plan,
me.
yeah, right. But the plan would have been perfect, except then so it was like this beautiful house perched up on a hill overlooking this valley. He had a great view. And then I walk, it was supposed to be a surprise for the guy, So she kind of hides me in the front of the house, they're in the back outside.
Yeah.
And then she introduces me. I walk around the side of the house to their backyard area, do the
Yeah.
show, never go inside the house, then back around the same way I came to the back. And then I'm just standing there awkwardly in the driveway waiting to get paid. But she like can't figure out her Zelle or Cash App. She's like, okay, let me download this one and let me go. So I'm just standing there, and then there's like people walking by at this point, like, hey, you were good, yeah, good job, whatever. But then they're
Yeah.
also looking at me like, so you're just gonna stand there for the rest of the night? You didn't want Do you have a car? Are you waiting for a bus or something? Like what's going on?
Yeah.
And it was like
I
20
get
minutes.
that they're like trying to be nice when they're like, "Oh, stick around, have dinner." But I'm like, I mean, they
Yeah.
did that last night. And I'm like, no, I have no interest in hanging out with high schoolers or their parents. I'd like to
Right.
start my 6.5 hour drive home.
Oh man. So you did six
But that's
six hours
nice.
there, 6 hours back. Same day.
Yeah. Same day. And it was fine. It was not that bad.
That's bad. No, it was that bad. That's a
I mean,
lot.
it was that bad. But if I didn't pay as well as it did, it would have been that bad. But it was. I was like, okay, this is. I'm
And you didn't
I'm being
entertain
productive. I'm being productive.
you didn't entertain the idea at all of staying overnight, like at a
No. No, because Erin had been gone all weekend. She was at a music festival, so I hadn't seen her. Like she left. She got home 2 hours after I left. So her mom was like watching the kids in the interim. So I
oh,
hadn't seen her
okay.
in a while, and I was just like, I just want to get back.
Well,
Because then I would
well,
wake up Monday morning and be like, ugh, I gotta drive 6 hours.
I know, but
Plus, it was an
13
early
hours
enough show.
driving.
It was a 6:30 show, Michigan time. So it was like I was on the road by 6:15, Madison time.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. I get that.
No,
So you were home by, what, 2 in the
yeah,
morning
like
or
one.
something? 1?
Yeah,
All right.
not too bad, not too
Not
bad.
too bad.
But we didn't talk. I did that. Did I talk to you about the baseball
Oh
game
no,
show?
no, no, no. That's what I want to hear about. You did a show at a minor league baseball game in between innings.
Yeah, the Northwoods League game, the Madison Mallards, and I was just like, well, this is gonna, be terrible, but inexperience, whatever. And it was fine. I mean, it wasn't. It was fun to do. I didn't. It was weird. You can't hear anything.
Right.
There's like an
You probably could
echo.
hear no reactions at all, right? You're just doing
Right.
your That's actually kind
And
of good in a way, because you're just like, it's like the Zoom comedy thing. You just get conditioned to like, well, it's gonna sound like I'm
yeah.
bombing, but who knows?
Yep.
Maybe I'm not. I probably am, but there's a chance there's someone out there laughing and I just can't hear it. So I'm just gonna act as if.
And it was 2 minutes. And anyway, it was 2 minutes. It was so easy. I'm like, well, this is fine. I did boom, boom, boom. And I was like, okay, I didn't hear anything, whatever. But then, people are very complimentary afterwards.
Yeah.
And what's funny is I was walking out to my car. Like, I have a joke. I have a joke where this is an old joke, but I was like, all right, this is good for baseball. I told you the thing where I'm like, oh, you guys like baseball? We got some baseball fans? Yeah. Ripping open, nothing better than ripping open a box of Cracker Jacks, sucking on a hot dog. Yeah, American Dream. You guys like, we got, get them all riled up. And then, so they're cheering. And I'm like, yeah, myself, I'm not a fan. I just find the whole thing silly. A bunch of guys wearing these silly pants. And I'm like, well, I think that because I sucked when I was a kid and I tell the story about sucking at baseball. I eventually quit when, I'd get late night phone calls. Beaner, you suck, quit the team or I'll beat the shit out of you. All right. Thanks for the heads up, coach. And that's like a 15-year-old joke. And, but I was like, oh, that's fitting. So I do it. I'm walking out to my car after the show was over and we all, we hung out for a bit. And some guy's walking out to his car and he's like, hey man, sorry, your coach called, said you suck. And I was like, when you're a comedian,
Yeah.
you're not in your head. I'm like, wait, what? The coach said I suck because I just performed at a
Yeah.
baseball game.
Right.
I'm like, wait, what? The
Oh,
coach said I suck? He's like, no, your coach. I was like, wait, my coach? I don't have a coach.
My comedy coach?
The guy,
Gary said that?
The guy probably regretted talking to me. He's like,
Yeah.
what do you know? Your coach, he called and said you saw it. And I was just like, I don't. Oh, he's like, your joke. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh,
You know
sir.
what the version of that is? Oh, dude, because I'm wearing this shirt. This is a Seattle Kraken shirt. Okay, it's an NHL hockey team for Seattle.
Okay.
But comedians, after you do a set and people do that to you and they talk about your act and you're like, not, especially if it's an old joke, you're like, what the fuck are you talking about? That other people can relate to that when you're wearing like a shirt of like a band or a festival or like this Kraken shirt. People will come up to me in the airport like, whoa, yeah, man, you guys are good this year or whatever. And I'm like, what? Quit, what are you talking about? Get away from me. And they say, no, your shirt. You're like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's what comedians are. We're wearing shirts of like bands we don't really know that well.
Because people assume we're listening to ourselves.
Yes, that's the mistake. They think we're interested.
So I was not in the moment at all like
No.
you were. I was just looking at the clock, listening for the crowd, doing this. I haven't listened to that joke in 15 years, sir.
Yeah.
I've said it many times.
I actually like minor league baseball audience is probably like the best comedy audiences there is because they're like their threshold for entertainment pretty low. They're going to see
Yeah,
minor.
subpar.
They're going to see like bad baseball. You know,
Yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah,
bad comedy. That's beats bad baseball, I would think.
yeah. So it was fun. It was fun. I bought a hat. Should have
And
bought more than
they had comedians like
they
how
had.
many?
Well, it was a rain delay, so it was a
Oh
shorter. So I
God.
thought I was gonna have to do 2 sets, but it was only 1 set. The day of, I was like, oh, I have to double my. That's why I texted you, and I was like, hey, if you think of any
I
Batman
know.
jokes,
I
I'm gonna
dropped
do
the
one
ball.
set as Batman. And I brought the Batman costume, and then he was like, "Oh yeah, I didn't mention it. Yeah, we're all doing one." So there was 5 comics, and we each did a set of different spots between different innings. Yeah, so I didn't do
That would
Batman.
have been really funny if there was like a rain delay and then they just made you go out there and do like 45 during the rain delay.
Yeah,
Like, hey man, you got to fill.
yeah. We don't want these baseball players to get struck by
We're,
lightning. Go
we're
out to the
yeah,
pitcher's mound.
just in a big slicker.
Yeah,
Well, you're right. That is a new. I've never done that before, so that's kind of cool. Did any comics throw out the first pitch? Did anyone throw out the first pitch?
yeah. The guy that organized it, Eitan is his name. Eitan, I forget his last name. But he's yeah, he's a New York comic. He's going around. He's breaking the record for most. We talked about this throwing out first pitches. He's going for the Guinness Book of World Records most first pitches thrown out in a year. And I think he's on par to do like 50.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. My buddy Jeff is like that. I think his goal is to throw out the first pitch at every major league stadium. So he
Really.
always tries to push it when he's in town doing a club or something.
Hmm.
I just can't imagine caring.
Well, you know what's funny is this. I mean, I don't know if it's like this. It's probably not like this in Major League, but I mean, this was like they had a line of like 8 people doing
Yeah.
throwing out the first pitch.
Oh yeah,
All
yeah,
right,
yeah.
here's Susan from the Montessori school. She throws it. Okay, here's Tom from
Yeah.
Rick's Hardware.
They have more pitches thrown as the first pitch than they do in the whole game.
Yeah.
Susan's
Yeah.
got to ice her arm. She's throwing too many first pitches here, so we're gonna bring in the reliever.
Yeah. Early first pitcher. Whew.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
I'll tell you what I was doing today. Oh, you got
What's
more?
that? No, I had nothing on that. I was looking for my discussion topics.
Oh,
I
do you
have
have it?
topics and discussion
I
topics.
know.
But
I
you go
love that
ahead.
you keep them separated. It's very organized of you. I was helping my mother-in-law's moving. Is moving, especially when you're helping someone else move, that's like a
Yeah.
top 5 worst life experience, right? Like there's nothing
You know
fun
what?
about it.
I don't know if I agree because yes, it's not fun, but when it's not you, like who cares? Like, you know?
Yeah. It's I get it if it's like your buddy, because then you're like, if we don't finish, we don't finish. And it's like I gave you
Yeah.
these hours and that's it. But like when it's
Yeah.
your mother-in-law, it's like if we don't get this shit in, she's just gonna stay at our house. So there's real stakes.
Yeah, you make a very good point. When there's a deadline, you have to meet it. Yes.
There's
I'd rather move myself than someone else.
and honestly, like I can lift a couch or a dresser. That part doesn't bother me. It's like the little stuff, and they've never got it
Mhm.
boxed up, ready to go the way
Oh,
you think. You know what I mean?
unacceptable.
Just shit
When
strewn
you show
everywhere.
up to help and they're like, all right, and they haven't done anything.
Yeah. And
Oh,
then this is the worst. And we have to help her with this, but it's like switching the cable and the power and the garbage and the like getting all that, figuring out which agency
oh,
you have to contact and
all
do.
the administrative stuff.
That is the part where I'm like, I never want to move again, just based on that alone.
Oh God.
I read something they were like, you should change your car insurance every year just because of the incentives you get for change. Like you could get like good deals by switching.
Switch companies?
Yeah, so if you went from like Geico to Allstate to whatever, you would get
Yeah.
such a break in money because they're so excited for you to switch, and they're all about the same. They all offer about the same service.
Yeah.
But I was like, at what point is the work of switching worth whatever I'm saving? You know,
Right.
just the peace of
Yeah.
mind to know, like, oh, I'm just auto renewed for next year. Oh my God, whatever. Just keep taking money out of my bank account. I don't give a shit. It's the same thing with
They are
cable, like
counting on that.
with internet. It's the same thing where I'm like, I was reading how there's T-Mobile now. You can get like home internet through T-Mobile, and basically it's
Yep.
just their 5G. So it's not wired in anything. You just put like a little 5G box in your house, and you have
Yep.
home internet.
Like a hotspot.
Yeah, but so I was
Yeah.
like, I don't know, like, but we do the podcast. So I want to make sure the internet's good. So I was kind of wondering if it would be good enough. And then also I was like, but then I got to call Xfinity. How do I do that? How do I quit one? You know what I'm
Break
saying?
up with them. Yeah.
I can't break up with
Yeah.
anybody. You know, I would love to save, $50 a month. That sounds great, but I just don't think it's in
You
the
don't want to hurt
cards.
anyone's feelings. Yeah.
No, it's not it's just the rigmarole. It's like literally, how do I do it? How do I get
Yeah.
a hold of them? How do I stop it? How do I, like, without just canceling my credit card? I think that's the only move. You just have to cancel whatever card is associated with them and then let them call you.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
anyway,
Oof.
so that's what I was doing today. I think I'll be doing it
That's
tomorrow too.
that sucks. Is she staying with you tonight?
No, she's still at her, it's just a long story, but she's still at her place through, like, she technically has it through like the 15th, and then so
Yeah.
we kept her bed and her couch and her TV over there and moved everything else, and then tomorrow we'll move the rest, and hopefully the TV works. And then you have to do like the self install, like with Xfinity. They go, do you want us to send a technician out there for $40, or do you want to do it yourself? And you'd think like all you have to do is plug it into the wall, but
Yeah.
there's always something. So we'll see how that goes tomorrow.
Uh,
But anyway,
Would
would you have a discussion topic?
Well, with all my driving, I just noticed I made an observation. I don't know if you said like radio DJ. What's your thoughts on radio DJs? Do you enjoy them?
I do
Do you
not like
them?
morning guys or
Yep.
people. Like
There's
I don't like prank shows, or like I don't
they're
mind.
fake.
Yeah, because they're all God.
Oh,
Do you think if everyone knew that those would just go away? Like, they're
I don't
literally
know, but I don't
actors.
understand how people don't know they are. It's
Because
so
people are
obviously
stupid.
cringy fake.
People are
Oh,
stupid. But yeah, like they literally cast it's not just like they're fake, like, hey, Susan's gonna call in and we rehearse it or
yeah,
talk about. No, they literally cast actors and have a script and tell them what to say. And people
that's
think that
awful.
stuff's great.
I
don't like those. And then I like, though, the idea of a radio DJ. Like, what I would love is to listen to a show where there was a person who had good music taste and picked songs that they think aren't being played enough, but other people would like. That's what I would like. Doesn't seem like
That's
there's a
like
lot
the
of that.
goal. That's what they're supposed to be, right? Isn't that what it's supposed to
I
be?
think that was originally the idea. Yeah.
Instead, they're assholes that play shit.
What they're told to play. I think they have to play what they're told to play. It's like,
Yeah.
that's how the business
Yeah,
works.
these days they like it's all pre-planned before them.
Yeah.
Who knows if they're even there. But I noticed like when they're making small talk, like, like these radio DJs, they'll set up a premise. Like, oh, being funny is easy. They'll say a premise, no punchline, and that's the whole thing. I
Yeah.
was listening, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, you ever have someone butt dial you by accident, and then you overhear something really juicy? That happened to me the other day. Anyway, here's 21 Pilots
Yeah.
with I farted in a jar. It's like, what? Okay. You thought that you were done? Like, tell a joke.
Right.
That's okay. You got a setup. There's a premise. They're like, oh, call in. Tell us your stories. That's so funny that I observed that happened. Like,
Yeah. And
okay.
it's not even like it's just a premise with no punchline. It's like begging for the end of a story, like,
Right.
you ever you know, you know, you ever in a horrible car accident and you trying to determine who's at fault? Anyway, Will's here's
Yeah, your CNC Music Factory, things that make you go, hmm. Okay, Flashback Friday.
but yeah, I
Ugh.
you do radio is one of those things where it seems like it's like an incredibly tough business. Everybody says like, and my buddy Brian, he works in radio, and I know like it's, you're getting canceled, and you have to move around the country, and it's a really tough business. But then also
Yeah.
it seems like they just let anybody do it. So how can both those things be true? How can it be like, oh yeah, it's so hard to make it in radio, but also we just let anybody. Maybe that's the problem, is nobody's like actually looking for talent. They're just like, sure, go ahead. And they're like, okay, you're fired. And then they just move on to the next person.
Yeah, they're just disposable.
I don't know.
Oh God. They had one this show. I'm not even gonna say the name because I don't want to give them any credit, but like they do a prank on the hour every hour. They put me in a bad mood anytime I catch it. If I'm in the car in the morning. And but they also have a thing where it's catch a cheater. And they call someone calls in if you suspect your person is cheating on you, the radio DJ will call that person, tell them they're from the grocery store and that they won flowers. Who do they want the flowers to be sent to? And it's just the most
Uh,
contrived. And
yeah.
it's like, oh wow, every morning is this miracle dramatic, you know, story.
Yeah.
Oh,
Jesus. Yeah,
it
there's a
just makes me.
guy, I won't say his name either, but there's a guy who's made his lunch on that in the Northwest. And I think he's like nationally syndicated now. And he's kind of a like he does stand up too. And it's crazy because I mean, he's been making, I'm sure, six figures or more in radio for a long time now. And then
Wow.
so people know his name, they in the
Yeah.
Northwest especially, they know who he is. And he'll do comedy and sell some tickets, but
Yeah.
it's not like it doesn't translate like you think it would. You know what I mean? You think you
Yeah.
could do
Yeah.
stadiums or something, but with how many people supposedly listen, but it's all that stuff. It's all the phone pranks and everything. It
I
just must
like
be,
yell at my radio when
yeah.
I hear these.
Why are you listening
Nobody
to
would
it?
ever. No one. I don't know because in the van we don't have auxiliary line, we don't have Bluetooth,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
we don't have a CD player. It's all everything's broken except for the radio. So you be the radio DJ, and I'll be a real person if it was a real prank. Okay.
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 Wait. So what prank am I? I'm doing the flower thing.
So yeah. So let's say okay. You're trying to reach me, and you crashed into my car
Okay.
overnight.
Ring, 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 ring.
Hello?
Hi. Is this Johnny Beaner?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, this is Andrew
Who's
from
this?
uh. Well, anyway, I last night I crashed into your car.
What? You
Oh,
crashed
I'm
into my
really
car?
sorry, but it was dark, and I
No,
was
you didn't. I drove it this morning. Click. They never hang up.
I know.
They never hang up. They'll
Wait
say
a
these
second.
ridiculous.
Let me try the next number. We'll try it again.
Stay with me, folks. We gotta find someone here.
Okay, that's Beaner. Let's move on to Burner. Just going through the phone book. I mean, but doesn't that tell you everything you need to know about radio? Like its survival
Never
is
voicemail.
its survival is predicated on people with vans who don't have the technology to listen to something better. And
Yeah,
that's really what's left for them. It's like
yeah,
live news and sports. I really think like sports is carrying so much for media right now, but like sports radio and live sports news and news talk, like, you know, but even that with podcasts, it's got to be like taking a big bite
yeah,
of that. And then
yeah.
And then people who just don't have, like you said, don't have an aux cord, don't have Bluetooth. You know what
CD
I
players
mean?
jammed, broken. Yep.
CD players jammed and broken.
Oh my God, it's amazing because I'm driving through Chicago, Indiana, Michigan. I would hit seek because the station's all, so I just hit seek and wait till I hear something I want to hear and then turn it off or scan, where it
Yeah.
does like 4 seconds on each thing. It's amazing how like I'll probably listen on scan for like 10 minutes before I realize like I'll hear a
There's
song like,
nothing
oh, I
for
like
you.
this. And I'll forget to turn off scan and it just skips. And I'm
Oh
like, eh,
no.
whatever. What?
Yeah, and then by
So
the
I
time
just
you scan through,
going.
you've driven far enough where you don't pick up that station anymore.
Yeah.
I'm always doing that with like football games. So if I'm driving on a Sunday and I'm trying to listen to like a certain game and I never have Sirius radio or whatever, I'm just scanning through trying to find like the whatever AM Westwood One sports channel is going to carry I would take any NFL game at that point usually. And
Yeah.
same thing. It takes forever to find it.
Uh,
But I heard they were trying to make it so like some car companies want to just stop giving you radio in your car. You know what I mean? So
What?
like so if you buy a brand new car, they don't want you to have
Bluetooth?
the free stuff. They want you to subscribe for Sirius or they want you to, have Apple CarPlay. All these tech companies want the
Yeah.
car to be tricked out. Like, guys, you won. You,
Yeah.
you you did it. You're better than radio. You don't have to kill them. You don't have to step. No one's listening. If you have Sirius and Apple Play and your phone linked and
Yeah.
all that shit, nobody's listening to 99.4 the bull or whatever. Like it's fine.
Yeah.
You beat them. You don't have to also rip
Yeah.
it out of the cars. But yeah, it
You
was to
don't
the
gotta
point where there
hold
was
your
like
head underwater.
Congress people were like trying to write a bill forcing them to keep radio in the cars because of like equal fair access or
Oh
I don't
man.
know, NPR or whatever. I'll still listen to NPR though sometimes like
Yeah.
if you know, it's sometimes there's something interesting on there, music is good
Yeah.
in there or something, but
If
that's
they took
about it.
radios out of cars, it'd be dead. When else do you listen to the radio?
I don't know.
Are there
Never.
radio? Yeah.
I don't
Do
I
they even
don't
have?
own I don't own a radio. Sometimes I listen to like Mariners games, the baseball on my phone, but that's through the MLB app. That's not through
Yep.
a terrestrial radio.
Yeah.
Dude, I should
Yeah.
get a radio. I should just start listening to the radio.
No, because I mean, I could listen to the radio through my stereo, but I don't.
Why not?
I've had a stereo for years. What?
Because it's
Because I
wait,
fucking everything we
because
just
it's
said, I hated. They're all fucking
wait,
assholes.
just because it's bad? That's not doesn't
I can
seem.
listen to anything I want, or I can have someone pick what I want.
I know,
No.
but someone should go like do like an old school radio show. Like where that probably exists is like high school radio or something. Like when I was in high school, we had a radio station of C89.5, and it was that kids could just play music they liked. I mean,
Yeah.
they had a format, they had like a style of music that they pushed, but there's that should exist somewhere because I'm so bad with music. Like I appreciate just getting music taste from somebody else,
Yeah.
like I
Yeah.
would love for people to make me
Hey,
playlists.
yeah. I don't. I I understand. Like you are not a music guy. I don't like my music. The only music I know of is like from. I still listen to 311, Counting Crows, Pearl
I
Jam.
know,
Like I
but aren't
don't
you?
know how these people that get new music, how
That's
they
what I'm
get it. Are they
saying.
reading Rolling Stones? I know. I don't understand either.
Like are like modern music fans, like I feel like how do people discover new we're in comedy, like so we should be interested in the idea of how people discover new comedians, right? Like that
Yes.
should occur
Yes.
to us. We don't seem to care, but we
Right.
should notice, right? And it
Yeah.
seems like social media, right? Like social media clips seems to be the main way people are
Yep.
discovering new comedians. Short
Yes.
stand-up clips, right? Repeated over and over and over again. So
Yes.
Is that where the music? Like, how are people finding new music? Is it like Spotify? Is it whole
Maybe, yeah,
songs?
maybe. I don't know. I don't know. Because I mean, I have Apple Music, and I don't say, "Hey, Apple, what's new and hip?" I just say, "Hey, Apple Music, play Counting Crows," and put some Pearl Jam in between a few of them. You know?
Hey, Apple, what's new and hip?
You are clearly an old man.
They just put on Paul Simon for you. The answer to
Hey,
what
this kind of rocks.
they're like, we know what he wants. The algorithm. It is like that HAL, the artificial intelligence, like, you know what I mean? They're like, no, he says he wants new and hip, but we're too smart. We know what he actually wants. Give him the same
Yeah,
old shit.
we see what he plays when he picks. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh man.
Well, should we get into topics?
I'd love to, my friend. You want to go first?
All right.
Or
I
you
don't
want me to go
care.
first?
Hey, you know what? Ladies first. Go ahead.
Oh, chauvinism.
No, that's a compliment. You can't say that anymore. That's not an insult. It's 2024. I was giving you
Oh,
a
you know
compliment.
what's funny? I did a show
What?
show on Saturday, and this comic who I didn't know came up to me, and she was very nice. You know, these young comics are so confident too, you know. So she's like just chatting away, and then I was like, no, we've met before. She had a unique name. I can't remember it, but it was unique enough to where I knew I'd met her before. You know, it was a very
Okay.
LA type thing where I was like, no, and she was like, oh, it's nice to meet you. I was like, I think we've met before. And she goes,
Oh,
oh,
you called her out on it.
yeah. Oh, yeah. In Portland,
Oh,
I don't care. You know, I'm like, we're just normal people. We can just, if we've met before, let's try and figure it out.
okay.
And I was like, she was like, was it a show in Portland or Seattle? I was like, I don't know. Give me a second. Let me see. And she goes, and I thought she said here. And I go, I don't know if it was here. Maybe it was in Seattle. She goes, no. I said, are you queer? And I said, no, no. I was like, no, I'm straight. And then she goes, oh, because I was on this. She's like, I just did these queer comedy festival, and you would have had to been maybe. I was thinking maybe it was there, but it was just so
Oh,
funny because like my whole life I was conditioned. If someone's like, "Are you queer?" Like that is like the meanest thing, and you've really had like in those 30 seconds, I had to rewire my whole brain. Like, no, she's not being mean. She's just asking a question. This isn't high school. She's not bullying you right now. She's just honestly
are
trying to
you?
figure out where we met.
How do
What are
we
you?
know
What are
each
you,
other?
queer?
Are you queer? Hey,
No,
mustaches
no.
aren't gay anymore. No, no, no.
What are you, queer? Don't throw me in my locker. What? What? I was just asking if.
Huh?
Huh? Okay, but my topic is
So you never figured it out with her.
no, no. I have no idea where we met. And maybe I was just making it up.
Okay.
Maybe we hadn't met. And I am queer. I lied. So I here's my topic is this is a very simple one in short, but again, going back to Fox, this goes back to Fox Rental Car, which is still fucking me. They have not responded to
Oh
my, and
no.
they're way past the 72-hour window, and I've heard nothing from them. But anyway,
You should text me their phone number and I'll
I
in
know
my free time
I
I'll
should put
call
some
them.
people on it.
Yeah, just put them on blast on the podcast.
Yeah, I already did it on Google reviews. Maybe that's why they're not answering. Anyway, my point is, if you're in line, right, and especially if it's like a longer line,
Like at
don't
the bank?
at the bank, at a rental car place, wherever, and you have a group with you, only one of the group get in the line. Don't if you have like a family of five, four people go take a seat, wait for Johnny or for Aaron to go handle the business in the line. Because when all of you are in line, it looks like it's a very depressing looking line. It looks so much worse than what it is. I don't like having like 25 people in front of me when actually there's only going to be 5 appointments to wait.
Okay.
One
But for the
person.
devil's advocate, to be devil's advocate, isn't it nice when the line disappears by like 6 people at once, and you're like, they were all together. We can all move up a bunch.
No, because
What
then
a
I tell you
treat.
what, because I tell you what happens. Then you start assuming. Then you go, oh, those 3 people are talking to each other. I bet that's just one group. But they just happen to know each other, but they're all getting different cars. So then one of them goes and takes up one, and then one of them, and then you're like, oh fuck, and then you've lost that whole.
All right.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
no,
so you've
just
thought this through. You've thought this through.
yes. So just to get rid of the confusion, it should be one person per employee. If you're taking up an employee, one of you in line. That's it.
What if they gave what if they gave out hats when you get into line?
Yes.
It's a different color. So everyone wearing a yellow hat, they're all together. That's one.
Flags. You should
all
hold
the blue hats is one.
You should hold a flag. Just a giant blue
flag on a
yellow
stick.
flag on a stick. And you should have to hold it up in the air so okay, that's 1, 2, 3, 4 people than me.
Yeah, that's better. Because then
yeah. If you want to talk to your family, I guess. Like it was like Heidi had to go get her passport. We went to the passport office and it was the same thing. It was like, there's no telling how many people were in front of you. There's just giant families and kids and people and, from all over. So you really didn't know, so the hat thing or the flags, that would have been great.
Yeah.
That's a good compromise. Thank you, Johnny. You thought it through.
Well, that's what we do here on the Cavalry. We come to the best conclusion for society.
Right. So you're backing me up.
I'm backing you up. Yeah.
What do you need backup on, Johnny?
With the new. Here's what I need. Okay, so let's say you get a park. Let's say you park and you get a parking meter. You pay, I don't know, $9 for 2 hours because you're in Chicago. Okay. And you're at your show, and then you get a ticket because your meter expired, and then they give you a ticket. I think you should at the very least be able to deduct the amount that you paid into the meter from your ticket.
That is so good.
Otherwise, it's like, well, what is that? Why did I pay for nothing?
You should run for office on that. Absolutely. Yeah. You should be able to deduct the money you spent in the meter from the ticket because you should have the ticket's a ticket either way.
Right.
You could have just parked there and paid no money. You would pay the same amount in ticket.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
But instead, I gave them $9 for nothing.
That was somebody's bit. Maybe where if you get a ticket, you just leave it on your car forever. And then it's like a pre-roll. It's like immunity.
Right. Yeah, I've had that thought, but I think cops,
they
do look at the ticket.
They might look at the ticket. But I love that. That's great. Do you ever go to a parking meter and then it will allow you to buy time even though they're not charging at that moment? So like let's say it's Saturday at like 4:30. And but in this meter on Saturdays, they don't charge past noon or something. They'll still let you buy time. You have to like go and read the rules. And if you're dumb enough to purchase time, like that should be illegal too. Like the meter should stop you from paying if it's not like a time, or if it's like there's only a half an hour of time left, they'll like let you buy like 4 hours worth. Half an hour of like let's say it's 7:30 and the meter stops at 8.
It's free after. Yeah.
They should shit should be illegal too.
Yeah, that's not cool.
You could easily just run for office on like parking meter stuff.
I know.
There's enough there. I don't miss getting tickets, man. I've not gotten a ticket since I moved to Portland. That is a shitty feeling. Why is that money so hard? What was it? What was the damage?
I didn't get a ticket. I had to keep running out. I had to keep running out of the showroom and plugging it. I didn't want that to happen.
Smart. Good for you.
So I didn't get a ticket, but I was thinking, because I saw, and actually before I even paid the meter, because it's one of those ones where you got to find the box halfway down the block and pay away from your car and put your license plate number in.
Yeah.
But the guy walked by when I was sitting in my car and he didn't do anything because I was sitting there. But I was like, if I had walked away from my car, I would have just gotten a ticket right now. So I started thinking about it. Yeah. Tickets suck. They
Yeah.
even make tickets like meters where you can't pay with a credit card? Does anyone have quarters anymore?
No, I don't. I think those are all gone. Yeah, because remember
Yeah.
there used to be a thing where like in Portland they have this parking kitty app, so they don't even have meters at all. They just have like one. They have like a sign and they have a number, what zone you're in. Then you have to go on the app and put in that
And put your
zone.
license plate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's actually, I will say, like, as much as I don't like apps and like there's too many apps, that is
Yeah.
much better than the old system. Like the old parking meters with
Yeah.
quarters, like that shit sucks.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. How come? I mean, not to go off, but I mean, I just drove through Chicago. It cost me, I don't know, toll, like Chicago has a tollway. And it's
Yeah.
just why there's no tollways in Wisconsin. What do you think, you're better than us? Like, are you more important? Yeah, you got more people. Well, fucking figure it out a different way. It's
It's
ridiculous.
it's
Fucking
crazy.
horseshit.
Like no one has the balls to do the tolls. Because I've driven from Boston to Seattle and back. So
Yeah.
like none of that it doesn't exist until you get to Chicago. And then once you get to Chicago to Boston, you're probably paying like 150 bucks in tolls. Just going from
Yeah.
there to there. But after Chicago,
Right.
nothing. No other state.
Nothing.
Not one other state westward of that would
Right.
dare put, like, we have some bridges with tolls, in the Northwest.
Yeah.
And like in California, there's a few toll highways that are like express highways, but the actual like main, I-5, I-90,
Yeah. Yep.
I-10, those no one would dare.
But I mean, like Illinois, I mean, my uncles have told me, like, oh, is the state's bankrupt? Like, if you just look at how many fucking cars,
Yeah.
I mean, traffic in Chicago is worse than LA. How the fuck is that not the richest state on the planet with how much? It just blows my mind. They just fucking suck money out of every car that goes by every single day. Man,
I don't know what to tell you, dude.
it's bullshit.
Give me some of that money.
Yeah.
Let me just be a toll.
Yeah.
Let me just collect some tolls.
Put a toll at the end of my cul-de-sac.
I was just gonna say I should toll my street, 48th Avenue, like a bridge, like a troll, just to sit out
you
there.
got one of those tire slasher chains you throw out, and then if they pay you, you pull it in. Okay, you can go by.
Severe tire damage. I could, because they do those block parties, where they close the street down, but I could just do that. Except the street where I have no kids or fun stuff in the street. I just like, if you really want to cut through, $5.
Yep. And you just put your Venmo on the thing. And you're like, hey,
Yeah.
Venmo me. I know you don't have money. That's fine.
Venmo me.
Venmo. It's cool.
That would work.
Yeah, I'm reasonable. Yeah.
All right.
Wow, we got a lot of good ideas today.
A lot of good ideas. What an idea podcast.
Yeah. Nice.
All right, buddy. Good.
Well, you got anything to plug?
Just the Tacoma Comedy Club in July. It is July right now. It's July, but
that's right. It's July 1st,
when this
folks.
comes out, it'll be like next weekend.
It'll be. Do we drop on? Is our date the Tuesdays, but we just always give them an extra day?
Well, Mondays is when it's supposed to come out, but then I usually try to get it up like Sunday night, so that it's in your feed Monday morning is the goal.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But July 19th and 20th at the Tacoma Comedy Club on the Proctor Club, the second room. And that's good. Go to that if you're in Tacoma.
I'll do August 1 through 3, St. Louis Funny Bone in Westport. And then or 1 through 4. Oh, that's a Thursday through Sunday. And then Madison Comedy Week the following week.
Yes, it is. I know that Sunday hurts.
I know that
Sunday
sour taste in the weekend.
All right, well, go check us out there. We'd love to see you in person. Remember to subscribe to the Patreon for post-show banner, which we're about to do right now. So everybody, thank you for listening to
the Cavalry.